The Jawn with Uncle O and Charlie Mack starts now.
Charlie Mack, and I'm here, and we ain't gonna do no disrespect, so I'm gonna let Charlie Mack do this part.
Listen, always, I'm saying we always gonna pay the highest respect to a queen when the queen is in the building.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So we have Queen Monie Love.
Okay.
She's in the middle, of course.
Of course.
Because
Where
you couldn't
else
be there.
would I be?
Right.
Where else would I be?
We wouldn't put you on the edge.
Well,
because you wouldn't be Monie on the edge.
Well, we would never do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or Monie on the top, or Monie in the back of the room.
No.
We just wouldn't do that.
So it's definitely Monie in the middle.
Before you guys get going, can I just say congratulations on the Jawn?
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Now you, of course,
now
she clearly knows how to use the Jawn. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because listen, I'm saying a lot of times films come to Philly, television shows, different people come to Philly, and they be using it. I'm talking about out of the wrong context, always,
Right.
and it cringes me.
I'm
So
Jawn.
Monie is absolutely, I'm talking about a sisterly affection, and lived and resided in the city of Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
So, you know,
That's
she's
right.
a sisterly affection.
Absolutely.
Brotherly loves.
Yep.
So here we are in the Santana, up in Reading, Pennsylvania. What is this event, Monie?
So this is a show that was put together with me opening, and then Coogee Rap and Slick Rick, and also I'm forgetting somebody.
Karis One,
Karis
the
One.
teacher.
How
can I help?
Bottom line, I'm honored to be the only girl
Yes.
on the show,
Yes.
representing for the ladies. One thing I do want to say about Karis' show that I've noticed, because I've been on the bill with him, you already know, you both know. So we land on the same bill sometimes. He has a whole different type of sound than everybody else's show has.
Yes.
And I'm like, part of it is because he travels with his own sound guy.
Right.
But Karis One's sound is something to be envied.
This is true. Well, when you live your life at a level of teaching, you got to make sure that I'm saying that everything is pristine
That's
from
true.
start to finish.
That's true.
So for him, he cannot, I'm saying, especially the way he goes at the powers that be,
Right.
he got to make sure I'm saying his own, because you got to figure at some point somebody's going to try something funny stuff with him. So he's not going to have that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he brings his own sound guy. Yes.
Absolutely.
So Mo, how is it for you? Like, all these years in the game to still be touring. How does that feel for you?
Honestly, I feel completely just in my decision making earlier on in my career, because in my career, in my span from coming from England to this country, like I got here in '88, you know what I mean? And there's been many a time being signed to big, huge labels, which is the Machine.
Right.
And there's been many a time where they have tried to convince me into doing things other than how I want to represent hip hop,
Right.
or how I wanted to represent hip hop from my start, right? And so now, 54 years later, I'm 54, by the way. Well, I'll be 50. Yeah, I'm 54. I'll be 55 this year. Right?
OPS, you heard that, right?
So, yeah, definitely old people shit right now. So, the fact, and I forgot what I was saying. I'm kidding. Right?
You got me. By the way, you got me. Okay.
No, but basically, it's just like I look back on my career and I'm glad that I said no to a lot of suggestions that were made to me by the Machine. Because here I am, 55 years later, still representing hip hop the way that I represented it when I was 15.
Right.
So this happened I think that's the thing about you coming from London. Now, again, coming from London, from when you landed on the ground here in America, you decided I'm taking control over my career from day one.
Yeah, I did. And
Wow.
honestly,
At 15.
but you know what, Charlie? Honestly, for me, and you both guys know me personally,
Yes.
right? And when I make a decision about anything that I'm doing,
Unwavered.
I'm always unwavering and steadfast. Don't look at me like that. Right?
Yes.
Right?
Unwavering, I know.
Right?
That's good.
And you both know this about
Yes,
me
yes.
because you know me personally. You know what I mean? And looking again, in hindsight, I'm not upset about any of the times that I ever said no to the Machine about anything they were trying to push me to do.
Who gave you the courage to be able to say, the audacity to say no? Who gave you that courage? Coming over again, because a lot of American young ladies, I'm saying, and male artists, they always complain about not being able to say no. So who gave you the courage to do that?
My dad, honestly.
Right.
And O and I used to do morning radio in Philly. You know this. We
Yes.
did morning radio. I'm saying for the
Yeah, they
people
don't
that
know.
watch
They
it.
don't. Yeah, they don't.
Yes.
O and I used to do morning radio right here in Philly. I mean, we're both.
Who said no more times? Because y'all both say no.
This is
Uncle
true.
always say, Uncle always say, he'll say F no.
But I don't say the F.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's a lie.
This is true.
That's
This is true. My manager's sitting over there, and he was just looked up like, what? Like, no. I do say F, right?
right.
But when we're answering things, when people are asking us to do things, I don't say the F. I come in the room behind scenes and I say it to you.
Right.
Like this MF.
No, you'll be like, oh, what the fuck was that?
Exactly. right?
I'm like, Mo, what the fuck do they think they're doing? Who the fuck do they
Exactly.
think we are?
But
So who said yes between y'all two?
publicly, I don't say the S
Okay.
when I say the no. He
Okay.
says it publicly.
All the time.
Okay.
Fuck no.
All right. See? And there you have it.
Not my words.
Right?
Yeah.
But honestly, I will attribute it to my dad, who is still with us. My dad basically got me steadfast into making a decision and sticking to it.
Right.
Within
In
my
15
career.
years, I'm saying
because, I mean,
he instilled
he
that.
had to sign my first record deal.
Right.
He had to, and so he had questions. He's a Jamaican Rasta man.
Well, you go. Okay.
He had a whole lot of questions. You know.
How many bumble clots did he get?
Oh my
signed in the
goodness, I
contract?
can't even count.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like my dad is hardcore and a rebel. And
Did he remain in London when you came to the
He's
States?
still in London. Yeah.
Now, question. I'm saying when you came to the States, I'm saying who'd you come over here with, and how was that
By
experience for you?
myself. I had a set.
Literally by
yes,
yourself.
I had a record deal already in England. I came over here already having a record deal, but I got signed to Warner Brothers for the US and Canada. So I came over on like a work permit. And
She's on work release.
I was shut up. and I finished completed my album in this country, in New York.
But what made you at 15 years old? What made you, and then what made it comfortable for your parents? No, for your parents, for you to come by yourself, being a 15-year-old young girl.
Because they believed in me.
Right, but I'm saying
No,
come by yourself though.
So they believe you would do the right thing?
They believed that I would do the right thing. Plus, my father's parents lived here.
Okay,
Okay.
got you.
You
So
know
you
what I
came
mean?
you came to them.
I came to my grandparents
Got
in
you.
Brooklyn.
Okay, got
Yeah.
you.
So she wasn't living on
By myself, no.
Right.
Broadway.
Okay, that's what
No,
I'm saying. Right.
no. I came to my grandparents' household, and that was the hub that I was in. You know what I mean? And then branched off on my own from there, as far as discovering New York and then spreading out. You know, and I didn't leave New York. I came in '88, and I didn't leave New York until 2004, and that is when I went to Philadelphia, where I had my own morning show, and then became friends with O. We were on opposing radio stations.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, we were on opposing radio stations, and that's the rebel that I am. None of that mattered.
Right, at all. First off, let's tell the whole truth.
Tell the truth.
Because
Who was the dot connector?
it was your daughter.
Yes.
Your daughter, Charlena was
yes.
the dot connector. She listened to us.
She listened to you.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
Every day.
She knew where the shit was popping.
Yes.
Okay.
She listened to you every day. She was like, "Oh, Uncle O, so funny," and I would be in the car, and she'd change the station to your station.
Wow.
Right. She'd be trying to listen to her colleagues, and then Charlena would be like,
would change
"That's
the
not how
station.
it was going
No,
down."
She would change the station to you.
Let me ask you this question: Any during that time in Philly, was there any moment that you said, "Listen, I'm over all of this"? Did you ever have a moment like that?
Over all of this, like what?
The radio,
No.
Politics on radio.
No. Oh, it's just like for me. It was just like the record business. I never liked the business.
Right.
But I love the art form and the culture.
Yeah.
Same thing with radio for me. I love being on air talking to people and connecting with people. You know what I mean? Because you don't realize when you're on the radio, you become people's best friend.
Their therapist.
Right.
And their therapist.
Yes, absolutely.
And all of the things.
Yes.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
were each other's therapists too when
Every
we were all
morning.
together.
Every morning.
We were crazy as
Me,
hell.
you and Donkey.
Yes.
Every
First
morning.
off, don't ever say that name like that.
Yeah, pause.
Donkeys' names is a pause.
It's
okay?
a bad
It's a
boy.
bad name.
I don't even know why he named himself that.
Because he's white.
But why you say it? But why you say it again?
Because he's white.
Pause on you.
Yeah, pause on me.
This episode is sponsored by Paul State Insurance, and he needs a deductible about $500,000. Okay, you can continue.
Yeah, but absolutely.
Wait, I spent some of the deductible because that was terrible. But go ahead. Sorry,
you do become people's friend and their therapist
Yes.
and all of the things. So I never fell out of love with that aspect of radio. The politics and all of that. Oh yeah. That stuff's trash bags.
Yeah.
So Monie, I wasn't aware of that. You actually, like, you just informed us and our Jawn audience that you came over here by yourself. Who was your influences at 15 years old? When did you actually kind of connect with hip hop? What age?
Shantae.
So Shantae was your world.
I was 14 when I really connected with hip hop, and we connected in England in a way of the art form, the body art form, the dance part of it. Like I was breaking and stuff like that.
So he's a breakdancer as well.
Yes, you remember when we was trying to do that in the studio?
Yes.
And you did something. I was like, look at them little shit.
Yeah. No, that was a push-up. I was doing push-ups.
Okay.
I was doing push-ups. They was fast. And she was like, look at them little shits.
Yo,
I was doing these push-ups.
these little
I was trying to
crazy-ass
show.
push-ups.
We was having a contest, so I was doing these little push-ups. They was fast as hell. When I was done, I got up like I did all this work, breathing heavy, and Mo gonna say, Look at those little shits. What the? She said, what the? She said she don't say the
I
F
did.
word.
No, I
She said,
did.
what the
But
fuck was that? Oh,
We weren't on air.
I'm like, that was push-ups. Mo.
I was
She's
like, look at
them
that little shits.
So Shantae, right? I'm gonna get back to Shantae.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry.
So
Sorry,
Shantae,
off
right?
topic.
So now, when you heard Shantae, what again? So were your skills already at the level when you came over? Because you was there at 15.
Okay, so I'll tell you what I was already.
Okay.
I was already a wordsmith because I excelled in English lit. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Just keep going.
I excelled in English lit in school and poetry, and that aspect of my skill was already developed and developing.
Were you aware that you was that talented
No,
at that level?
no,
Because of course you was only hearing yourself.
exactly.
Right. So who actually said to you, you're fired? Because you said you had your deal in London.
Yeah.
Where did that come? Who actually?
Guru told me.
So Guru was in London?
No, I didn't realize I was really as dope as I am for real.
I love that you said that though. I do love that you
No,
took
that's
that
the
vow.
confidence.
I love that.
That's the
That you said I didn't realize I was dope as I am. I love that. I don't want the humility. Hip hop can't be humiliated. You got to be cocky. You got to talk your talk.
But
Right, talk your talk, Mo.
Hold on. Where are we at? This episode is being brought to you by Paul Say Insurance. He loses 5% of his deductible.
Well, first off, you got to get it together without stuttering.
No,
So
you
back.
lose 5%.
Okay.
You lose 5% of his deductible, okay? Because he was terrible right now. Talking about cocky. We're not doing that. Let's go.
Okay. So Mo, again, at the moment that you realize, I'm saying again, from the first rap. Do you
Yes.
remember your first rap?
Oh wow. No.
Don't remember your first rap.
I
How old
don't.
were you?
14.
14. So
Yeah.
from 14, so it took only less than a year for you to get a record deal. So you had to be really, really phenomenal.
Right.
Yes, but I still didn't know I was as dope as I am until what really did it for me was when I came to the States, right? And I performed with Latifah and I performed Ladies First for the first time during the New Music Seminar. Y'all remember the
Yes,
New Music
absolutely.
Seminar?
Absolutely.
remember that, yeah.
And I performed Ladies First with Queen Latifah during the New Music Seminar in '89. And Guru ran up to me after we performed and was like, yo, I didn't know you could spit like that. And at that point, I was like, oh shit, I'm really dope.
So you really didn't know up until that point that you were fired.
I knew I was good, but I didn't know I was like.
So I compared you and Latifah. That's how I compared you yesterday. I said Latifah was Del Earnhardt and you were Mary Andretti. Like that's how you came into it. Like literally. Like I'm
she
talking about
like that.
No, I'm saying really because it's like she's already flying.
Right.
But when you come in, it's like the baton pass and you haul like all you see is dust.
Right.
She would love that.
So before you go, how did you meet Queen Latifah? Yeah, I know you.
No, we can't jump over that.
Go ahead.
I'm still gonna go Shantae. Because again, we got to go from the beginning.
Shantae gave me my confidence to because I used to be in the mirror with a toothbrush in England rhyming. And watching Shantae and listening to Shantae is what gave me the confidence to leave the bathroom, put down the toothbrush, and actually get out in public.
Wow.
Right, because you were doing this with the toothbrush.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now, the moment that you met Shantae, you actually looked at her eye and eye. What was that moment?
That was very...
Tell me about that.
It was humbling.
Where was that? And where?
As a matter of fact, it was after, because, she put out a record called Big Mama.
Yes.
She dissed me and several other women.
Crush your heart? Had you met her? Had you met her at that point?
No, it didn't. It didn't crush my heart. And I'll explain why.
Okay.
Because even at a young age, I understood some of the background stuff in the industry and sometimes how people's record labels and clicks can encourage people. This is the route that you need to take to ignite some fire, right? And I looked at it like, Shawnee didn't have to do that.
Right.
It's people in her camp that are allowing her to think that she needs to do that.
Right.
I'm not gonna say a damn word back to this record.
That was my next question.
I made a decision, and again, I was so young making these decisions, and I was like, I'm not answering that for the simple reason that it's gonna contradict everything that I am and everything that I've said. I've said in public that this woman gave me the gusto. She put the battery in my back.
Wow. Right.
I get out here and I diss her now. That's contradicting my whole stance. I'm not doing that.
I love that.
And so I didn't. Years after that is when Shawnee and I first actually met. And the first thing I did was I hugged her and I flat out, we addressed it immediately with each other.
Wow. And y'all
like
both two very outspoken women.
Y'all outspoken women. Real as shit.
Yes. No, y'all outspoken women.
And we addressed it immediately.
Wow.
And she was like, listen, I don't even want you to feel no crazy way. It was the time. It was where we were in hip hop. You know, the label was like battle, battle, battle. That's where I come from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I said to her, you ain't got to, what Big say, you ain't got to explain shit to me.
Right.
That was basically what I said to her. I was like, you ain't got to explain that to
Do
me.
you know what the diss from her? I know you're past that, but did you know what the diss was about to begin with? Or it was really just a label saying go after her?
Women coming into the game.
During that time, it was a lot of battle.
Coming
Coming to the game.
New girls coming in.
Right.
Me and a flux of other new girls coming in.
Right.
And basically, you know, Lioness's camp encouraging Lioness, protect your land,
absolutely.
protect your pride.
Because that's what hip hop was back then, for sure.
And she comes from that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So me and my young mind putting it together that, first of all, one of the reasons why she put the battery in my back and she has such a big influence on me is because she comes from battle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how am I going to now say something back and she's doing what she does?
Right.
I said, I'm going to just wait for years later and I'm going to have a conversation with her face to face. And that's exactly what we did.
Awesome.
And,
Wow,
the respect was just mutual.
Wow.
So now fast forward ahead through everything. You meet Queen Latifah. How did that come about?
Well, Latifah came to England because, you know, Funkenklein.
Mm-hmm. Doctor.
God rest his soul.
Mm-hmm.
Guy named Dave Funkenklein. Did you ever meet Funkenklein? Dave Klein, and he had, I don't know what sickness it was he had with his legs, but he eventually was on crutches. He did a lot of work with Def Jam and with Rush Management, and so he was one of the early ambassadors that was bringing artists from the United States over to England. He came over to England.
Him and Tim Westwood.
He came over with a tour, which was Queen Latifah, Jungle Brothers, True Mathematics, and Sean Rock G.
Wow.
That is when I met Latifah, and that was like '87.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What was Latifah's move towards you when she met you?
Oh, she loved me because she was the joke of the tour because she was the last one on the bus every day. And when she met me, a Funkenklein asked me to help them get from A to B, and I was kind of like road manager at freaking 15,
At
16.
15.
Yeah. I made sure she was the first one on the bus every day.
Wow.
And that running joke stopped, and she loved me for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
The concept of Ladies First, the record is single. It was already done, or she brought it to you that way, or y'all created it?
While they were on that tour, she mentioned to me that she said she heard that I spit, let her hear something. We were in Bristol. It was a show in Bristol, which is outside of London. And I let her hear something, and she was like, we're going to do a song together. I don't know what we're going to do exactly or when we're going to do it, but you and I have a scheduled event to happen where we're going to do a song together. And I said, yes. 6 months later, we recorded Ladies First.
Had you had that verse already written, or you
No,
didn't?
we wrote that as we're
In the
standing
studio.
in this room.
Wow.
We were in Power Play Studio in Queens, and we were in the studio together, and we wrote the song on the spot together. And it was like verse and verse. It was like I wrote a verse. I was like, yo, shit, listen to this. And I'd say it, and then she'd be like, yo, that's dope. Then she'd go back to her corner. She'd write something, be like, Mo, listen to this. And it was like that, and we kept fueling each other.
Right.
Yes, you could feel it.
You
can feel it.
Hey,
Pause. Pause. But I'm excited. I'm excited like I was in the studio. But yeah, no, really.
This portion of the show is sponsored by Paul State Insurance.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I'm excited. I'm excited. Listen, the process, because the record was so once y'all finalized the vocals, did you know you had a bona fide smash in your hand?
I didn't. I was just having a good time and having fun.
So it was just fun to you.
Yes.
Wow.
She knew.
She knew.
She knew. She knew what she was doing.
Right.
She knew what she was doing. In hindsight, we've had a conversation about it. She knew exactly what she was doing.
She knew. She knew.
She knew.
Yes, she knew. And Monie in the Middle. So what was the concept behind that? How did Monie in the Middle come about?
Oh,
we gotta let her have it. Gotta let her have it. Go ahead. People
Let
don't know.
Let her have it.
Yeah, I'm talking to the lady, so you can't pause me.
Okay.
You reaching. Go ahead, Mo. He reaching.
okay. On tour, on the Big Daddy Kane tour, Big Daddy Kane, Queen Latifah's camp, which I was a part of that camp, Digital Underground, which Pac was a part of Digital Underground at the time, Third Base, and we're all on tour, and Big Daddy Kane is just Mr. Suave. Who the heck doesn't want to get with Big Daddy Kane as far as women are concerned, right? And he was just running things as the Mack at the time. And so he had this whole thing figured out, okay, y'all all go to McDonald's, and when y'all come back, tell Monie I like her and give her my McDonald's food, and if she walks in with my McDonald's food, I know that she's ready to listen to me.
Listen or be his girl.
Well, listen to get so he can kick it.
Okay.
Okay,
Gotcha.
okay.
And if she doesn't, then I know that that's not it. It's like it was like he's so smooth, and his whole plan was just so foolproof. There was no room for
How many
me
bags
to
of McDonald's did you have?
none,
Uh-oh.
none,
Uh-oh, did you hear that? So it wasn't that smooth.
none. No, but with everybody else, it worked.
Well, it didn't
Right.
work with you.
Right.
Right.
Again, it
But
doesn't
he was
matter.
hardcore and living
And
there
that's
from the
why.
street. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why it
Yeah.
didn't work with me because I was like, he's one of my heroes.
Right.
Couldn't imagine.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, like, again, making these types of decisions when I was mad young,
Yes,
like,
that's-
I don't want to cross that line with that's
Wow.
one of my heroes.
Right.
Like, I'm not.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And when you talk about strength in a woman, that's strength. Like it's like
So I was in the middle of him trying to get that plan to be able to see if I'm willing to listen to him kick his rap, right? Or this dancer dude that I was trying to holler at myself.
Wow.
Okay.
So I
Wow.
hollered at the dancer dude.
Oh,
So you said
okay.
get rid of Big Daddy
So
Kane.
I was in the middle.
You was definitely in the middle. There you
Hey.
go. Whoa.
It's going down.
Now this portion, you know what I'm saying? Again,
Poor
there's no,
state is sore.
there's no pause for you.
There's
Look
no
out.
pause,
There's no
right,
pause
yeah,
for you.
This is, we're going to add to her deductible. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
she got $1 million. She has $1 million right now.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
So Monie, native tongue.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your brothers and your sister. What was that like? Because y'all was one of the first, I'm talking about ill crews, right?
The best way to explain Native Tongue Crew is like the most fun, having, creative bunch of hip hop gypsies, all
I like that.
all living in one commune, being
Wow.
Calliope Studios in Manhattan, and
Wow.
all creating songs. Like we would go to the studio even if it wasn't per se your session. Like it would be like, oh, what you doing today? What time you get to Calliope? Whatever you got doing during the day, when you're done, you go to Calliope Studios. Whoever session it is, it doesn't matter.
So y'all all went in together, much like they did with the Chronic.
With everybody's album.
Were you invited in, or
No,
kind of
it just
kind of
was-
morphed
it
into
was,
it
it was
its own
just a
thing?
known thing. If you weren't there, you'd get a call like, yo, you coming through?
No, I'm
Right.
talking about native tongue. Were you invited into the native tongue, or was it just kind of y'all kind of morphed into it?
Oh no, because of the fact that Jungle Brothers was also on the same tour that Latifah was. So I met Jungle Brothers and Latifah in the UK.
Right.
You know what I mean? And based off of that creative relationship that we all forged from meeting just those two, Jungle Brothers and Latifah,
Right.
by the time I got here, it was like I was already pre-introduced to the rest of them.
Right. Right.
So by the time I got here, Tip is like, oh, that's Monie?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
So they knew about you before you touched the town.
Exactly.
And speaking of the Q-tip, what about how did it affect you losing two of your brothers from
From the
It's
native
rough.
tongue.
from the tongue?
It was rough. You was there.
So we talking about,
rough.
for those that don't know, we talking about
Fight
fighting and
Dog.
keyboarding.
and Dove. Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you think everybody's invincible.
Right. Especially them, right?
Yeah,
It's
you think everybody's invincible. You don't think for a second that anybody could pass. So, but the reality is that life is so fragile.
Right.
So dearly missed. Definitely a shock. It was rough to get through the memorial celebration that happened for him
Yes.
in New York. And before that, rough to wrap your mind around Fife.
Right.
Also, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So.
Five, then you got something
What
to
we
say.
can do, and what I find myself doing oftentimes, is I have so much footage of them in my phone. Like I have footage of Fife and footage of Dove, like in my phone and stuff. I pull up the old videos, like the "It's So Easy" video
Right.
and stuff like that, and I kind of just relish in those moments. And when I feel sad, I play them back.
Right.
And I constantly make sure that they stay on a playlist and they stay pumped in the car, music pumping, and so that their memory can live on, basically.
So in the era of biopics, of course, we have Roxanne Shantae's. I don't know if you know, I told Dave, I created my hip-hop Avengers. Myself, Will, Latifah, Shakim, and Miguel,
That's
and
so
Jeffrey Collins.
awesome.
Right, but our
That's
first
so
film we're going is
awesome.
Latifah. Would you want to do a biopic?
You know what? It's not that I even, if I want to or not, it has to be done because there's aspects of my story there's aspects of my story that allows everybody in the United States to understand just how powerful hip hop is. Because it exploded all over Europe
Yes.
and England.
Wow.
And I still think that people don't realize to the magnitude that took place overseas. And me being one instrument that came of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's definitely a story that needs to be told. And you need to holler at Idris when you get around to wanting to put that
Right.
together.
Wow.
Because Idris Elba is he came up in that era in England.
Hip hop head.
You already know this. And he's so big on that, he's been a part of many documentaries about Brit hop.
But that's Britpop. Wow, it's the first time I heard it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I ain't never heard it.
Right.
Okay.
But,
know what I'm saying?
overseas as a whole, they just respect the genre. I'm talking on a whole nother level that we
Yeah.
don't even.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
not as plentiful, it's not as accessible.
Right.
So they appreciate it. So again, with female hip hop today, how you feel like do you feel like it's in worthy hands? Like what's your feeling about it? And then so it's a two-part. What do you feel about that? And then to talk to a young 15-year-old, because it seemed like you did everything right. What would you tell her today? That young Monie that's coming off the plane.
Okay, so that's a two-parter.
Two-parter.
Okay, so the first part, what do I feel of the women
Where-
that are out
where it's at today?
Girls are doing their damn thing.
Yes, I make a lot of money.
Girls are doing their damn thing. I'm gonna go ahead and say
Who's your favorite right now? Give me top three.
I like Bia.
Okay.
I like Cardi as a business. Like she's a business train.
Mm-hmm.
Like she really is a good blueprint to look at. And as far as you started with this, you got to here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't sleep on Nicki. Nicki's a lyricist. You remember our
She can
whole
go.
Nicki Minaj
Yes,
story?
yes.
How we got her to come up to the station
Yes,
and everything.
yes.
And Philly is one of the first cities that embraced Nicki
Wow.
from the jump.
Yes, I remember. Yep.
Was that from the DVD era for her? The DVD she was doing. She was like
It was,
fiction?
we were paying attention, but not really. But it was
There
really
was
hard
a
to
mixtape.
So it was a
As soon
mixtape
as the
drop.
mixtape started dropping, and Philly was one of the first cities to embrace her. If you really go back and look at it, she was coming there a lot
Right. Yeah.
to do a lot of shows, and we had her up on the station
had her up on
and
the
stuff.
station,
Yeah. So I don't even think I could break it down.
You gotta
into just
understand,
two.
we had her on a station where she didn't want to go anywhere. Like she was really particular about where she went,
Absolutely.
and who interviewed
Yep,
her.
yep,
So
yep.
getting her. At that
Women
time.
are doing it, man.
Yeah.
Women are doing. Lotto, we did a show. We had Lotto on the show with us. You know what I'm saying? And she's incredible.
Right.
Like her wordplay and stuff like that. Like I got a lot of love for the younger sisters
That's
that are
dope.
out.
Who
And I do
are
wanna-
you mentoring? Who are you mentoring?
I do. I'm not mentoring anybody.
Okay.
Right. Who would you like to? If you had a chance to mentor someone, who would it be?
I don't want to. I just want to be a.
You just
support
wanna
system.
enjoy. You just
no, I
wanna
just
enjoy.
want to be a support. I don't want to mentor anybody. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because sometimes as an elder in this game, you can put yourself in a position where you presume to be somebody's mentor, and they may not even want that from you.
Right.
But they absolutely. Let me tell you something. Because Latifah, and Light, and yourself, and there's a few more. Of course, Salt and Pepper. I'm telling you, these girls look up to y'all. Y'all are literally icons of them. You know what I mean? So again, I'm gonna tell you.
Some, if we keeping it funky.
Right. Some be feeling themselves.
And some
Some be
people,
feeling themselves.
some people feel like they know better than anybody else.
So I asked you for three, right? So you said Bia, right? You
I
said
like Bia.
And it was who was the next one?
She said Cardi.
I like
Cardi.
Cardi.
She said Nicki.
What do you think about Nikki? What do you think about Doechii?
Yo, Doechii.
Doechii is
Listen, her creativity level
Yes.
is off the Richter scale.
Yes.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say this though. One of the first people that I thought about when I saw her on several viral clips of what she's been doing lately that's gone out the ceiling is, to me, she's giving me Grace Jones.
yes.
I don't know if anybody
Hip hop
else.
Grace Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. Yep.
And I'm talking about charisma. I'm talking about wordplay, stage play. She makes you feel something when you see her. You're not just
That
sitting
she
there.
cares.
You're not just sitting there watching. She's drawing you in.
Right.
Grace Jones has that power. So when I looked at Doechii immediately, I was like, oh my God, it's the hip hop Grace Jones.
Yes.
And she's in for she is about to
Long
take
run.
us all on a hell of a ride.
Yeah.
Right.
For the rest of 25 onwards. And the crazy thing is, I had music of hers in my playlist from like
But you
maybe
look back.
three
Wow.
years ago that I didn't realize. I just
Yeah.
heard a song,
Yeah.
liked it.
I met her
Kept it.
about 3 or 4 years ago and didn't realize I had met her. She was just sitting at the awards and just was a bright like energy. And I was like, that's the young girl I met. She was like, my name is Doechii, I'm from Florida. And man,
Yeah,
I
she's-
was blown away.
She's insane. She's a fireball. Yeah, she's about to do some tremendous things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mo.
Do any of your children rap?
My youngest,
Lacey.
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 Yeah.
Nice.
Lacey's been rapping since she was a
But
young.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think I'm talking about as a mother? Of course, I call people that I know kids that do music. I call them Little Magic. Is she Little Magic or is she really dope?
No, she's really dope.
Really?
She don't want
You
to
push
listen
her?
to me.
You push?
Right.
Or you,
No, I don't coach my children because I want whatever comes to come from them.
Wow. Don't get in the way.
And Lacey won't let you.
She
They
won't.
seem all that.
I
She's
mean,
really,
that's,
yeah.
freaking North Philly in her blood. What
There we
can
go.
Yeah.
I-
You're cool. Monie, I love you. She's my sister. Thank you so much. Y'all
you,
have
Monie.
no idea how
Of
tough
course.
it was to get this interview.
And I thank you so
Shut
much.
up.
Okay, and it was difficult, and she did it anyway.
It wasn't
Monie,
difficult
thank
because guess
you
what?
very
She already
much.
told you if I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. It wasn't difficult. It was an
And
honor.
no,
it was
it
an
was
honor to have her on here with us.
He
It
ain't
was a
trying to hear
wonderful.
that.
No, it was. It was
No,
because
it
you're here.
wasn't. No, it was difficult.
ain't
Anyway,
trying to
yeah.
hear that.
Thank you
you,
very
Monie.
much. Thank you for joining us
You ain't
on
always
the
gotta tell
Jawn.
the truth. Like,
No, I always got to tell the truth.
No, you
Mo.
don't.
You know this. God damn it, come back.
it's the Jawn.
Interviews, music, and more on The Jawn with Uncle O and Charlie Mack.